Hi everyone, you are welcome back to my channel. My name is Akuride Adenike. In today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to draft dress pattern. To start with, this place indicates my shoulder line. From my shoulder to my nipple, which is my breast point, is 10 inches. Plus half-inch seam allowance, that will make it 10.5. From my shoulder to my under bust is 13.5 plus half-inch seam allowance, 14 inches. From my shoulder to my waist is 17 inches plus half-inch seam allowance, 17.5. From my shoulder to my hip is 23 plus half-inch seam allowance, 23.5. And from my shoulder to the full length of my dress is 40 inches. Here is it. But if you are drafting directly on your fabric, make sure you add 2 inches seam allowance to it for the hemming and for the shoulder, for the joining of your shoulder. So I will now extend those lines now. I'm drafting the front pattern first. So after that, on my shoulder line, I'm going to input my neck width, which is 3 inches, or let me make it 4 inches. My shoulder measurement is 15 inches divided by 2 is 7.5 plus half-inch seam allowance, 8 inches. Then from my shoulder to my chest line, my chest line is the half of my round armhole, and my round armhole is 18 inches divided by 2 is 9 inches. Here is it. I will now join it to my shoulder measurement to form my round armhole. Now to create my round armhole, let me first of all rule this line. This is my chest line. Let me label it so that for you to understand. Chest line, bust point, under bust, waistline, and my hip line. Then the full length of my dress. Now to create my armhole, on the shoulder line here, I'm going to come down by ½ inch. So I'll now connect it to my neck width, slantly like this. After that, I'm going to measure what is here so that for me to create my armhole. The remaining one here is 8.5. Then half of 8.5 is 4.25. So from there, I'll now come in by 0.75. So take your straight ruler and roll it up like this, slantly. So from there, you now take your armhole cuff and roll it out. So my neck width, my neck depth is 5 inches. So take your curve ruler and connect it. Or if you don't have your curve ruler, you can use your free hand. After that, I'll now impute all my circumference. On my chest line, I'm going to impute the quarter of my bust. My bust is 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. Plus ½ inch is, that's 10 inches. Plus 2 inches seam allowance. Because assuming this is my fabric now. The reason why I add 2 inches to it is because I'm going to add lining. In case you want to add lining, you can add 2 inches. If you are not add any lining, you can add 1 inch. But as for this tutorial, I'm adding 2 inches. On my underbust, my underbust is 32 divided by 4 is 8 inches. Plus 1 inch for the dart. I'll make it 9 inches. And plus 2 inches seam allowance. On my waistline, my waist is 34 divided by 4 is 8.5. Plus 1 inch dart. That will give me 9.5. Plus another 2 inches seam allowance. That will give me 11.5. Here is it. On my hip line, my hip is 40. Divided by 4 is 10 inches. Plus 2 inches seam allowance. Let me first of all mark that 10 inches out. Here is it. Plus 2 inches seam allowance. That will give me 12 inches. Which is here. So I'm going to place that 12 inches on the full length of the gown to here. But note, if you are drafting pencil dress, on the hip line here, you will place your waist measurement on it, or you can come in here by 1 inch if you don't want it to be too tight at the bottom there. So I'll now connect all the lines together from my chest line to my underbust to my waist, then to my hip. If you don't have your curve ruler, you can make use of your free hand. My waist to my hip. I'll now connect it straight down to the full length of the dress. Now, to create my dart to create my dart, from my shoulder to wherever the inches of my bust point is, I'm going to add 2 inches to it. That's where I'm going to start my dart. And my bust point is 10 inches plus half inch seam allowance 10.5 plus 2 inches. That will make it 12 inches. That 12 inches is here now. So from that 12 inches, I'll now mark 9 inches. That is where my dart is going to stop. So I'll now mark my nipple to nipple measurement. My nipple to nipple measurement is 7 inches. Divided by 2 is 3.5 plus half inch seam allowance. That is 4 inches. Is here. So on this place too, I'm going to mark that 4 inches. So I'll now connect the points. So on my waist line here, on both sides, I'm going to mark half inch on both sides. So I'll now connect it like this. So that's it on how to create your dart. This is all for the front. Let me cut it out. Now move on to the back. Front part. Let's move on to the back. Let me put this one. Now I've folded another fabric for the back pattern. So Here is my zipper allowance, which is 1.5. If you are drafting directly on your fabric and you want to use lining, can you make it 2 inches? So let's continue. From my shoulder, this is my shoulder line. From my shoulder to my chest line, which is the half of my round armhole, and from my shoulder to my waist, 17 inches plus half inch seam allowance. From my shoulder to my hip, 23 inches plus half inch seam allowance, 23.5. And from my shoulder to the full length of the gown, which is 40. Remember, I told you, if you are drafting directly on your fabric, make sure you add 2 inches at the bottom for hemming. So my neck width is 4 inches and my neck depth for the back is 1.5. All your measurements, you start it from this line. This is your zipper allowance. So you now connect your neck with your curve ruler, or if you don't have your curve ruler, you can make use of your free hand. From this line, I'm going to place my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 15 inches divided by 2 is 7.5 plus half inch seam allowance, that's 8 inches. Let me make this one to be a straight straight line with my ruler. So after that 8 inches that I get on my shoulder line, I'm going to place it here too on my chest line. Let me label it for you to understand. Chest line, waistline, and my hip line. So on my shoulder here, I'm going to come down by ½ inch. I'm going to connect this with straight line, then my shoulder slant from my neck to my shoulder slantly like this. So I'm going to measure what is here now. What is here now from this point to this point is 8.5. I will now divide it by 2. That will give me 4.25. Here is it. So I'll now place my armhole curve like this to create my back armhole. As we all know that front armhole is quite different from the back armhole because of the bust. So I'll now place my nipple to nipple measurement. My nipple to nipple measurement is 7 inches divided by 2 is 3.5 plus ½ inch seam allowance. That'll give me 4 inches from this line. 4 inches. Here to 4 inches on my chest line. So I will now connect it to form a straight line. Now for me to get my dart, on my chest line here, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. Now I'll now come to my hip line and measure 3 inches upward. So on my waistline here, I'm going to come in by ½ inch on both sides. So I will now connect it like this. So on my bust line here, I'm going to input quarter of my bust. My bust is 38 divided by 4 is 9.5 plus ½ inch is, that's 10 inches plus 2 inches seam allowance. That'll give me 12 inches. On my waist is 34 divided by 4 is 8.5 plus 1 inch that'll give me 9.5 from this line. Don't make a mistake, please. 9.5 plus another 2 inches seam allowance, that'll give me 11.5. On my hip line, my hip is 10 inches. My hip is 40 divided by 4 is 10 inches plus 2 inches seam allowance, that'll give me 12 inches from this line, not from here. On my hip, on my full length of the gown here, I'm going to input that quarter of my hip, which is 10 inches plus 2 inches seam allowance, that'll give me 12 inches. So I'll now connect all the points. Connect from the waist to your hip with your curve ruler. If you don't have a curve ruler, you can connect it with straight line and later blend it up, because for you to have sharp edges, it's going to give you problem while sewing. And now connect it straight down like this. Remember I told you, if you want to make it a pencil gown, you can input quarter of your waist on the bottom of your dress or come in by 1 inch from this line. So as for this, is straight dress. Now I will now cut it out. But before cutting it out, to avoid seat bulk, just come to your waist here, your waistline here. I want to extend it for you to understand. On your waistline here, at this folded edge, you come in by ½ inch and just connect it slantly like this. Then connect it till the bottom slantly like this to avoid zip bulk. So I'll now cut it out. Here is my pattern for the back, and this is my pattern for the front. As you can see, it's very easy to make. So guys, if you like my tutorial, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel to support my channel. Till I meet you in my next video.